There has been some recent research about babies and hip dysplasia. Now, this is not normally a topic I would talk about necessarily, but I think that it's relevant and is important because a lot of people think about swaddling their babies as being the natural, maybe old school way, traditional way of going about handling a newborn. And while that's true, there are proper ways and improper ways to swaddle a baby. It used to be that a baby was only at risk of having hip dysplasia if they were maybe a firstborn daughter, if they were a breech birth, or if there was a family history of hip dysplasia. Well, now doctors are finding cases developing later in a baby's life, or just later on in their development as a baby than they used to. And some are equating it to the swaddling that's happening, and that parents are actually swaddling their babies too tightly in the lower half of their region. So a few tips that came actually from a doctor from the National Hip Dysplasia Institute, and he recommends that when you're swaddling your baby, you swaddle them tightly on the top half so that their arms are swaddled down, which is one of the things that you want with a baby so that they can't startle themselves and wake themselves up when they're sleeping. So swaddle their arms in tight, but make sure their lower half is swaddled much more loosely so that their legs can still splay apart. When you're carrying your baby, you want to encourage their hips, this is according to Dr. Price, to be as if they're sitting on a horse so that they are bent and they are open. When you carry a baby, as much as possible, try to place the baby on your hip with one leg on either side of your body so that their hips are again open and bent. And then thirdly, maybe consider using a sleep sack instead of a blanket to swaddle your baby. What that will do is to automatically create the environment of a big sack around the bottom part of the body, but then a tight swaddle across the top, holding their arms in tight as if they're in a hug. So a few important and interesting tips that can hopefully help you raise a baby in a safer, healthier manner.